Okay, for this week, this is week 7, and Professor Barr asked us to read a selection of Langston Hughes poems, as well as The Man Who Was Almost a Man by Richard Wright, and Trifles by Susan Glaspell, the play. Let's go ahead and start out with some of the Langston Hughes poems. Um, and First off, the first one I gotta say that was in the selection was my favorite. This just goes to say, I'm talking about, of course, about the Negro speaks of rivers, and this kind of just talks about the proverbial black man, just the black man throughout the ages, and kind of just like the black man's always been here too, and I don't see why now he would have to be marginalized and subjected into by white culture. Um, yeah, so. Uh, it says here, in the Euphrates, in the cradle of civilization in Mesopotamia, present day Iraq. And we have Congo in Africa, the Nile in Egypt, um, and then of course Mississippi, which comes to the modern era, and then but all these rivers have pretty much always been there anyway. But you know, anyway, so moving forward, the next one that caught my attention is a song for a dark girl, which is a dark poem, and it sounds like a lover having his sweetheart hanged in front of him, and seeing that love hanging dead on a tree, and how sad that is way down south in Dixie. And so that's very sad. So there's a lot of these are racially charged and have a lot of um, animosity towards the marginalization of African Americans. So moving on to the next one, the man who was almost a man, talking about the young African American boy Dave. And Dave wanted a gun really bad. So Dave pestered his mother until he told him he didn't need a gun. Everybody told him he didn't need a gun. He brought a Sears Roebuck catalog home and was looking at the guns and was fixated on getting a gun. And so finally, he talked his mother into giving him $2 to go purchase that gun, and that's exactly what he did. He went down and bought that gun, and the next day, he was supposed to give the gun to his father, but he hung on to it and kind of snuck around with the gun in a way that he could hang on to the gun. And he wanted a gun. He wanted a gun to feel like a more of a man. And and I kind of have a paralleling experience with this. Well, basically because it's talking about responsibility, basically, and was he really responsible enough to have that gun? No, he wasn't. And so when I was 18, I needed a car. I wanted a nice fast car. Finally got a Subaru, and I flipped it. So definitely strikes home, talking about responsibility and stuff like that. So when we move forward, he goes down to do his menial task, which pays very little, which is plowing a field for what was the man's name? Mr. Hawkins, and so he went down to plow the farthest part of the field. It sounds like, and he brandished the firearm and wanted to shoot so bad. He shot it, and he lost control of the gun. And it sounds like it may have hit his forehead or something. And he ended up shooting Jenny the mule, and so he tried to lie about it. But a lot of this is about loss of innocence and growing up and what it means to be a man, and ultimately by the end of the story he skips away, and so I think the gun kind of represents his detachment from his innocence. That's exactly what the gun represents. And so when he jumps on that train with his gun, innocence is something that's long gone from him as he steps away into the cold, mean world. and we never know if he sees his family again. So I really like this short story. But anyway, my name is Chris Ronaldo, and hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week, and have a good one.